Hi, I'm Aoife Hearne and I'm here to talk about nutrition in the corporate world. Healthy eating has many connotations to many people. This is not made any easier by the media, where we're often bombarded by different reports and reviews telling you different foods are healthy. My goal today is to set the record straight, provide you with some practical steps that you can use day in, day out to choose healthier foods and to live better. Having a really strong foundation is important. So before we look at the foods you're eating, we need to look at some of the habits and behaviours that will make it easier to choose healthier food and choose these foods for life. Firstly, you need to really want to make changes to your life. This may seem quite obvious, but often people are making changes because they believe they should be doing it. If you want to make changes for life, you need to really want it. The next step is to know why you want to make these changes. This needs to be something that really resonates with your soul, something that's really important to you, something that will stop you eating 5 biscuits on the way up the stairs before you go to bed at night. How will these changes change your life? How will they improve your life? You need to know this before you move on. Building barriers and breaking down barriers is the next thing I want you to think about. You need to build barriers to make the unhealthy habits much more difficult. So often what I recommend people to do is to get the junk out of your house. Nobody has to be a martyr to eating healthy. It makes it so much easier if you don't have the foods that tempt you to eat unhealthy in your cupboards day in, day out. So try not to have junk food in the house all of the time. Breaking down barriers then is about making the healthy habits easier to do. So what will make it easier for you to choose breakfast in the morning, to go for your walk in the night? We need to make these healthy habits easy to do. You need to focus on the triggers that make these healthy habits easy to do. For example, people will have a goal of drinking enough water in the day. And sometimes people will say they want to drink 2 litres of water in a day. We need to focus on the trigger that's going to make that habit easier to do. Often I recommend people to make sure they have a bottle of water with them, because once you have the water with you, it's easier to actually drink it. We see that even with very low motivation, if the habits are easy to do and if you feel better for doing them, you're much more likely to do it for life. So keep focus on those triggers because that will help you lifelong. Having the right attitude to making changes is also important. By this I mean moving away from the idea of an all or nothing attitude to living well. This is not about being on a diet. This is about making lifelong change. Nobody has to be perfect, but being persistent is the most important thing. The last practical tip is to keep a food diary. A food and exercise diary work really, really well. This often can be quite tedious and potentially boring, but we see that people who write down what they eat will lose double the amount of weight as those who do not. Even if weight loss is not the goal, if you write down what you want to do, what you eat every day and what exercise you're doing, it's much easier to stay on track. There are lots of ways to keep a track of it. Good old pen and paper can work. But also these days there's lots of apps that can work. So be it on your phone or on your iPad or on your computer, you can use these things to help you keep track of what you're doing. Having this strong foundation is really, really important before you look at the types of foods that you're eating. So know why you want to make these changes is really, really important. I want to address some of the challenges that are specific to people working in a busy office environment. People are often time pressed, and this is something I hear time and time again. Being organised and prepared is half the battle. Each week, it is really a good idea to set some time aside to assess what food you have in your cupboards and what meals you want to make for the week. Make a shopping list to reflect this, and when you do your shopping, make sure you're not hungry, you're not tired, so that it's easier to stick to your shopping list. Sometimes people will even order food online to make that a little bit easier. Another really good idea is when that shopping comes home is to peel your vegetables, chop your vegetables and put them in a Ziploc bag in the fridge. That way it's easier midweek to make sure those all-important vegetables get into your dinner. However, when all else fails, it's good to have some healthy snacks at the ready in your desk. Think of things that are non-perishable. Whole grain crackers, tinned fish, nuts can all be quite useful for snacks or meals throughout the day. If you have to go to a local shop like Spar or Centra, there are some good healthy choices you can get there rather than getting a white roll. Think of whole grain carbohydrates. So think of brown bread sandwich, lean meat like chicken or fish can work also with some salad. These are better options and will fill you better for longer. Another downfall people have is relying on highly caffeinated and highly sugared drinks to make sure you've got enough energy to get you through the day. There are two things to help break that habit. First of all, eating regularly. When you eat high fibre carbohydrates teamed with protein, your blood sugar won't go too high or too low, and you'll have a more sustained blood sugar throughout the day. This prevents the need for these energy boosting foods on a regular basis. The second thing is to drink water regularly to maintain hydration status. So make sure you keep that water bottle at your desk so you're able to sip regularly throughout the day.